Hey everybody, Movie Review Next Door here, and today I've got an interesting one for you. Today I'm reviewing Endgame. This is a film from 2006, directed by Andy Chang. Yep, starring Cuba Gooding Jr., Angie Harmon, James Woods, Patrick Fabian, Peter Green, Anne Archer, Burt Reynolds, and Jack Scalia. Now, this is a conspiracy thriller. Alex Thomas, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, is tasked with protecting the president, Secret Service. It's him and James Woods, and the president is shot and killed. The person that did it is killed, and there seems to be a conspiracy afoot. So Cuba Gooding Jr., after an attempt on his life, joins forces with Angie Harmon's character and basically races against time to find out what's going on, why the president was killed, and yeah, there you go. Now, right off the bat, I like the film. I think it's one of those films that's it's mostly decent. Like, it was a good, solid 7 out of 10, and then the twist happened. I'm not going to be doing a spoiler review on this, because I think more people should watch it. Do not look up the ending. Do not at all. I think this is a very attention-rewarding film. There are little moments that if you don't pay attention, you won't catch those moments, and, you won't understand the story or something. Now, this film is from a company called Millennium, or at one point it was New Image. Millennium Films have done a lot of very interesting projects. Mostly they stick to lower to mid-budget action films. Every so often, you get a big-budget extravaganza like Olympus Has Fallen, which I really do like. But they're known for the Expendables films, the Has Fallen movies, Rambo, which was the fourth Rambo film, Till Death, which I really liked that film. I really did. It's just a shame Megan Fox is a complete cunt. I'm just looking through them because I can't remember the names of all of them. Before I Go to Sleep, pretty good. Psychological thriller, The Mechanic. I quite like The Mechanic now. I used to be kind of iffy on it. I do think Mechanic Resurrection is better. Drive Angry is awesome. Homefront, fun. But yeah, and Jolt. Jolt's a very rewatchable one for me. But yeah, I'm trying to watch more of their films because I do think they're a very accomplished company. But yeah, I liked the film. I liked this film quite a bit. It is one that's one of theirs where they were trying to expand their library in a different way. Instead of just going for action films, they went for sometimes thrillers, sometimes political, sometimes not. They did some dramas. I think there was one with Mickey Rourke. Can't remember the name of it. They did a few dramas. They even did some comedies. Jolt is an action comedy. I really liked Jolt. I highly recommend anybody that can find it anywhere. It's on Prime. It's a Prime exclusive. But if you can find it anywhere, just watch it. It's literally 80 minutes without credits. It's not that long. But yeah, let me get to the cast. Cuba Gooding Jr. as Alex Thomas. He's the main character, Secret Service. He does decent. I usually like him in roles other than these where he gets to show a bit of personality. His character here doesn't have a lot of personality, but he has some decently emotional scenes that he works for. He's alright in the action, actually. He does quite a few of his own stunts. There's some scenes where he's swimming underwater. Same with Angie Harmon, and I'll get to her. And there's times where he rolls out of the way of a car coming after him, which shows he was up to the task of actually doing his own shit. But yeah, he's decent. Angie Harmon, I like her in the film. I think she's good. Um, she's an actress. She was in Law and Order SVU. Brazilian Isles is probably her best well-known thing. I mean, Law and Order is the best well-known show, but for her being in it, she wasn't the main character of Law and Order. But she's a good actress that I've always wondered how she would work in a like feature film, and she worked well here. And also, there are scenes where characters are like swimming. It's her and Cuba, and yeah, it's very impressive to see them doing their own shit. James Woods, he's not really in the film that much. Vaughn Stevens is his character. Um, Given the budget, I can see they probably just didn't have a lot of money to spend on him, but he did a decent job. Patrick Fabian, he's also barely in the film. I just remember the actor. He's decent enough. Peter Green, he was in. What was the other movie I saw him in? It was Double Tap with Heather Locklear and Stephen Ray. I'd say he was better in that, but he was still not that great in that. He's very wooden. He's a very wooden actor. He's in a lot of these films. I've just never been big on him. Jack Scalia doesn't get to do much. He dies pretty early as the president. It was still cool to see him. Anne Archer, she's also not really in the film that much, but whenever she's on screen, it definitely elevates the film, like acting wise, because Anne Archer is a very good actress, and I've always liked her. And Burt Reynolds, he's in the film for a couple scenes. Him, James Woods, and Anne Archer, it kind of feels like cameos more than them being like central characters in the film. But yeah, this is a political thriller. It cost $5 million to make. The budget listed online is $5 million, which that's not a high budget at all. And they're kind of trying. You can tell they're kind of trying to do like an In the Line of Fire type of political thriller that's not like super action heavy, but it has little sprinkled in bits of action. It's mostly about the intrigue, the story, the mystery of who the real killers are, and like what they're gonna do next. And yeah, I found that very intriguing. It was cool to see Millennium tackle something different. Now, why doesn't this have a higher review than like, or higher rating than like Olympus Has Fallen or something like that? Or even Angel Has Fallen, which a lot of people didn't care for Angel. Oh, excuse me. It's because I, for the most part, prefer action films. I do like thrillers a lot too. It's not like I gave this a lower review or lower rating just because it's a thriller. But yeah, like I think Millennium's bread and butter is action films. It is still cool to see them attempt other genres. Like, Till Death was also a thriller, and I gave that a 9. I really liked Till Death. Especially with how it didn't feel the need to get overly complicated. I loved that about it. But yeah, this film, it's one of those, like, I knew about it because I saw, like, a list of, like, films the Millennium did, and not all of Millennium's films were on that list. So I had to go to the Wikipedia, and then a lot of their earlier movies don't have Wikipedia pages. Even some of their decently well-known in that action movie community, don't have Wikipedia pages, which is very confusing. I don't think Special Forces had one. I like Special Forces. But yeah, this film does have one. There's still not a ton of info on it. But yeah, I did like the film. It's not like a lightning fast paced type of thing. It's more every so often you'll get an action scene. The action is pretty decent, I guess. The big issue with the action scenes are it's that kind of zoomed in shaky cam type of thing that you got with like the Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, Transporter 3. Transporter 1 and 2 were awesome. Transporter 3 sucked. And you could tell that there was talent clearly wasted. The Columbiana. Pretty much everything Olivia Megaton. And Paul Greengrass. I fucking hate Paul Greengrass's style. I don't care what anybody says. It's not a good style. It's really obnoxious to watch. I tried watching Green Zone one time and I just could not get into it, mostly because like everything is filmed like that. Like I can handle it if it's only the action scenes, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna love your movie. But yeah, this. Sorry, there's not. I can't really say much about it because I don't want to give away the twist, and I don't really want to get super into the plot. I'll just say the actors are doing really good jobs, or decent enough jobs at least, and yeah, it's a admirable type of it's an admirable attempt at a film like this. It's not like fantastic, it's not bad, it's decent enough, and the twist at the end made me be like, oh, there's like really something here. So yeah, I will say, if I had to say like the standout action scene, it would definitely be they do like a raid on a warehouse that's really it's decently well choreographed, and the camera doesn't shake super much, like a ton during it. There's some like nice shots of characters like shooting through a box and then hitting someone on the other side, that's nice that they at least had some attention to detail. There's some really nice explosions that are practical because they, of course, don't have the. Well, I mean, they spent their budget where it counts for the action, which is nice, and I can always give credit for that. But yeah, let me get to the pros and cons. Pros: Cuba Gooding Jr., Angie Harmon, James Woods, and Ann Archer. All four give decent to good performances. Really nice to watch. Decent enough action. Some nice explosions. The score by... Give me just a second. Kenneth Burgomaster. It's a pretty decent score. Decently patriotic, and I keep saying decent. It's admirably patriotic, and it sounds like an actual like orchestra worked on it, which is nice. There's some decent bits of cinematography. So let me Chuck Cohen, the cinematographer. Let me see what else he's done. Varsity Blues, 16 Days of Glory. Well, there's some nice bits of cinematography. Like there's a scene where there's a fight scene between Cuba Gooding Jr. and Peter Green's character underwater, and like there's a shot of Peter Green like floating away, and he like floats into the light shining into the water, and then like floats away and slowly like disappears into the blackness of the sea. That was really cool. I really liked how that looked. All of the scenes where there's underwater, the two scenes that they're underwater, look really well done, and it looks like the actors are actually underwater, which is I can give props to that. That's pretty impressive. There are also some nice shots of like some nice establishing shots, like in front of buildings and stuff, that I liked. Like the things outside of the action scenes are very well filmed. It's just the action scenes themselves, it seems like they kind of like were trying to hide imperfections in the budget by shooting it that way, which I'm not the biggest on that. I'd rather just see everything. maybe it was shooting around a stunt double. It looked like it was Cuba during the action scenes, so I don't really see it being a stunt double. Another plus being the twist. The twist is very well done. Not gonna spoil it. Please, nobody spoil it in the comments because you will be blocked. Yeah. Cons. Even though I do like Anne Archer in this film, I do think her, James Woods, and Burt Reynolds needed more screen time. I don't think adding more screen time for them would have made the plot, like, slower or anything. Or like... I don't think it would have caused too much of a... too many issues with the pacing, because the pacing's already pretty tight for this type of thing. Again, the action scenes, while they're decently well done and they definitely look higher budget than they are at times, the whole handheld shaky cam thing, I don't know if it was handheld cam, but it is very shaky. When there's shaky cam in a film, I usually assume that it's handheld, because it's easier to do that. But yeah, there's a mistress character. I kind of wish we actually got to know more about her too. It does feel like sometimes certain characters are a bit underdeveloped. Because, like, Cuba's and Angie's characters are decently well developed, and they're the ones we're focusing on the whole time. But yeah, sorry, I'm kind of finding it hard to talk about more about this. I mean, there's not a ton to talk about. I will say on the cover of the DVD, there's Cuba, and it says second name is James Woods. There's James Woods. And that says Angie Harmon. This dude right here ain't Angie Harmon. I don't know why he's there. I'm guessing he's from the raid on the building that Peter Green was in, but I don't remember him. That seems weird to put him there. But yeah, this film, just on a last note, this film was supposed to go to theaters, but something got fucked up with Sony. Sony, ever reliable with that, they fucked something up again. Who would have thought? And this film was released straight to DVD, which, I mean, I don't think it was a big, like, moneymaker, which does suck. It sucks that films like that... Well, I mean, we know now Millennium has gotten into theaters with films like Hitman's Bodyguard, the Has Fallen series, Expendables especially was a big moneymaker. Expendables made a lot of money. But yeah, it's cool to see a movie like this in the earlier days of a company trying to make it to the big screen, and it's nice to see that it's also not a bad movie at all. It's a decently crafted political thriller with plenty of intrigue, suspense, and some really good moments of tension, actually. So yeah, I really sorry about that. I enjoyed it. I don't think it deserves the 2.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd that it gets. But that's going to happen with movies from this company, earlier movies especially, because people don't understand, oh, it's lower budget. Maybe that's maybe that's some of the shortcomings, but whatever. If you like the review, comment down below, like the video, subscribe, whatever, and movie reviewer next door out.